What's up, guys? It's Mark here, and today it's story time. A story about something that happened to me quite a few years ago that really impacted my life and how I looked at work, my future, and pretty much everything that I was going to do in my life. This is really based around me actually getting in an accident. I got in an accident and actually crashed and totaled my car in the middle of the night. And no, I was not drinking and driving. No, I wasn't doing something reckless. I was actually just driving back from work. The crazy thing is I had been working for upwards of like 30 days straight. This is back in 2011 and I was fresh out of college. I was working in entertainment production, event and experiential marketing for a company I interned for. More of the story, I was overworked. I was working like a dog. This specific day, I worked the whole day in the office. So I worked for this agency that had a production company. So during the day, I would work for the agency and I would do everything. I was a utility player. I'd help out in accounting. I'd help on pitch work, client services. I'd go do anything that the company needed at this time. I think I was working for like maybe $12 an hour at this time, $13 an hour. This specific day, I worked all day in the office, finished around 3 o'clock, and then I was working a press event in West Hollywood for Nylon Magazine. I think Volcom was a sponsor. And this event was at the Mondrian. If you're not familiar with the Mondrian in West Hollywood, it's a beautiful hotel. They have this bar outside by the pool called Sky Bar. This was one of those events we would do 1 or 2 of these a month. So I was super familiar with it. It was me with one truck and I was doing everything. I was loading in a small audio system, lighting, some mood lighting outside, PA system down by the pool, press wall, red carpet. So very, very minimal. Wasn't too crazy. We were shining some gobos, which are these lights that we would put in with logos of the brands that we would shine onto the pool for branding purposes. And this event was going to end around like 10:30. And then I was going to get the truck home, get into bed, probably be in bed by, 11:30. What ended up happening is 10 o'clock went by and hey, the event's still going on. 11 o'clock goes by, the event's still going on. 12 o'clock's going by, events still going on. 1 o'clock's going on, events still going on. By like 2:30, 3 in the morning, hotel staff finally said, "Hey Mark, don't worry about it. We know you're trying to get this gear and to get loaded out. The party's still going on. We're not going to shut it down." And this was quite normal to happen at the Mondrian. All these big parties that happen at these Hollywood pools, at these little boutique hotels off of Sunset Boulevard are relentless to go into the late night. So at this point, I was eager to get home. I had been working really a double shift. I'd started working at like 8 in the morning that day. It was a lot of manual labor too. So I load out what I could from the press event area, but there was still a bunch of gear, PA system down by the pool, and some lighting too, mood lighting. Staff said they'll take care of that. It's about 3 in the morning. I'm finally on my way back to the office. And at this point, I get the production vehicle back to the shop in El Segundo. I unload everything on my own, get out, make sure the office is locked up, warehouse is locked up, trucks parked away, everything's good to go. And I hop into my car, which was my first car. It was a Nissan 2000 Nissan Xterra. And I hop into that Nissan Xterra and had been in a big diesel truck. Up until this point, I had been like working off of this adrenaline of being up late, and you lose that trembling momentum of a diesel. And I went into like my car, and at that point, I'm on the highway and I'm just slapping myself. I am so exhausted. The adrenaline has worn off at this point, and it's about a 35 minute drive home. I'm on the 405 and I'm slapping myself. I've got the windows down, I got the AC blowing, drinking some water. I'm doing everything I can to stay awake. I do not feel well. I thought, you know what? I should have just stayed at the office and slept there, and woke up in the morning and showered and taken care of everything. I'm on the road. I'm turning onto the 110. I'm I'm literally dozing off. And at one point I just feel my head go back and I feel myself roll over a couple lanes. I wake up, I slap myself a couple more times. I'm almost home. And this is when I was right out of college living with my parents. Get off the freeway. I'm screaming, I'm yelling, I'm doing everything I can, blasting music to try to keep myself awake. And I'm going up this one hill up from San Pedro to Palos Verdes where my parents live. At one point, I just doze off again and I roll over and I hit a parked van. I roll into a bush and just destroyed my car. Luckily, no one was hurt. I wasn't hurt. It was a parked car. I was so disappointed in myself. People were coming out. They were like, "Oh, have you been drinking? What happened here?" I'm like, "No, I'm just overworked." This really was a big lesson for me. I was working for what I consider pennies now. This is one of those moments in my life where I realized I wanted more than what I was doing. I also realized like I didn't want to have to be working in someone else's domain, going into an office, going into events, doing this and that. I started thinking like, what can I do to like work for myself? And this is part of one of the reasons why years later, that was 2011 and 2016, I started Breadloaf. I was able to get myself out. And now ultimately, like, this is my production studio. This is where I work. Those were one of the pivotal things that happened to me in my life. Getting into that accident, walking away from it, little ego shot. Thank God I had insurance. It covered the other damage. I ended up getting a new car. It was okay. I worked my ass off and I worked so much that I made a massive mistake. And that's the only reason that happened. When you overwork yourself and you put yourself in an environment where you're like out in the world, things will happen to you. Being able to work and have the type of lifestyle I have now, I'm so blessed for. I love working in this digital space where I can work and travel anywhere in the world because I don't make those mistakes anymore. Yeah, I make other mistakes. We're still prone to it. It just feels good to not have to worry about those types of things. And I hope, everyone watching this video realizes like, hey, if you've made mistakes, if things have happened, like things can turn around. And I hope it can help someone relate to what I've gone on there. Realize that there's more to life than working for someone else. When you can work for yourself, you'll make less physical mistakes and you might not crash your car like I did. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this episode and talk to you later. Bye.